Hi everyone, I'm going to pick back up where our last video left off, which was on the high ankle sprains. It was the last of the ligament injuries that we didn't get to. So as a quick reminder, when we're dealing with a high ankle sprain, okay, reminders, sprains are dealing with the ligaments, okay? A high ankle sprain is going to be a sprain or an injury to the anterior tibiofibular ligament. Notice that it's dealing with the tibia and the fibula, not the talus and the fibula, or the tibia and the talus, or what we call the syndesmosis. Okay, and the syndesmosis is a little connective tissue that runs in between the tibia and the fibula, and it just kind of helps to keep those bones together. Okay, usually we're going to see this with forced plantar flexion, and so it's usually a pretty aggressive type injury, or it can also occur with some inversion, just depending on the position of the foot. Your treatment's going to be the same as a regular ankle sprain, but you might see that sometimes these take a little bit longer to heal. So looking at our picture, we're dealing up here with the tibia and the fibula connection instead of down here with the talus and the fibula, or the talus and the tibia, okay? We're just a little bit more proximal. And that was the last of our ligament injuries. So starting on our new types of injuries, we're dealing with the muscles and the tendons, okay? So our first injury that we have is Achilles tendonitis. Reminders, the Achilles tendon is connecting from the gastrocnemius to the calcaneus, okay? You're going to see this a lot in any athletes that have to do a lot of repetitive running and jumping, track, cross country, basketball. We see this a lot because that tendon is constantly being stretched and contracted, and it just kind of can't keep up with everything. Anytime you see itis on a condition, it's talking about inflammation. So by definition, this condition is referring to the Achilles tendon being inflamed. Now, reminders, signs of inflammation,
It's 12 o'clock.
that redness, the swelling, warmth to touch, all of those things are indications that there's inflammation going on. You can also see this very seldomly as a direct blow. So like sometimes if you get kicked from behind in your Achilles tendon area, you can have this inflammation, but usually it's going to be from an overuse situation. Okay, our treatment is going to be, you're going to rest that area, okay? If that means you stop running, stop jumping, sometimes we'll have to put people in a walking boot, okay, just to try to keep that tendon from being overused, okay? We also can oftentimes have to refer them to a doctor just to get some better medication to help with that inflammation if it's been going on for such a long time without any help. Here's a little picture showing that inflammation area of that tendon. So down here is our gastrocnemius, and then the white part is where it turns into that Achilles tendon. And so that tendon is constantly being pulled when we're having to jump and run, and our foot goes from dorsiflexion to to plantar flexion. And so it just kind of can't take all that stress. After Achilles tendon, we have Achilles tendon rupture, okay? And that's where that tendon, instead of it being just irritated, it is completely into two pieces, okay? And usually this is going to be more of an acute injury, less of an overuse situation. When somebody is running and they go to cut, sometimes that tendon can pop, okay? Usually people report that it's like somebody got kick them in the back of the heel, but usually there's no one else around them. It's not usually a contact injury. We see this a lot in soccer and sometimes in football when they have to cut and change directions very quickly. You are going to know when this happens. There's going to be a pop or a snap sensation. It's going to be instant. You are going to lose that ability to walk because you won't be able to plantar flex that foot anymore. Okay, this is a situation where you would splint the injury and get them to the doctor, okay? 99% of the time this requires surgery. Okay, they'll have to go in and reattach that tendon, and it is going to be a long rehab process. So here's a quick picture that's showing where that tendon has completely ripped in half. It is no longer connected. Here's showing you that perineal muscle coming down, and right here is where that tendon has completely split in two. I'll let you guys watch the video on your own, but this is the video of David Beckham when he tore his Achilles tendon. It's a pretty good video because it shows that he was literally by himself. Nobody else was around. Okay, completely by himself. All right, that is the muscle and tendon bones that I want you guys to cover. The next time we pick up, we're going to talk about bone injuries, where we start to talk about the different fractures in our body.